Hi, thanks for tuning in to this brief self-compassion, loving kindness for diabetes meditation. My name is Heather Nielsen. I'm a diabetes counselor and coach, meditation teacher, and a woman having been living with diabetes since 1997. So I've learned a few things along the way, and I just felt it was important to share these practices. Many of you may have your own practices already. That's wonderful. The more of us that are doing this work, I think the healthier we can be as individuals and as a diabetes community. And at this time in our planet and in our country and in our world where diabetes is exploding, there's a lot of suffering, a lot of divisiveness. I feel really called to share these practices in this way, in this technology that I'm trying to learn how to use. So thank you for tuning in. Enjoy. Okay, let's begin our meditation time together by anchoring in the body and grounding with the breath. Okay, so easy to get caught up in our thoughts, in our feelings, in the busyness and the distractions and the worries, and all those things take us out of the present moment. And mindfulness is really about coming in to the present moment without judgment. Okay. So it's easy to start with the breath because it's there. So if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, letting my voice guide you, tuning in to your body with your interoception. That means your inner seeing. Okay? So tuning in with your mind's eye to the sensations of breath coming in and out. And when we can slow down our breath and engage in diaphragmatic breathing, we can soothe our brain stem via the pathway, the nerve pathway from our vagus nerve, which goes up and down our spine, vagus nerve in our body. It sends a message when we can breathe deeply to our brainstem that we're safe. As if we weren't safe, we would not be able to breathe deeply. So this is a beautiful way, anytime you need, when you find yourself being tense, being a little fearful, if you're truly not in a life and death situation, it doesn't help us to be tense and fearful. But our body doesn't really get the message unless we give it the message through a deep breath that indeed, in this moment, we are safe. So letting your body talk to itself through that relaxed breathing, nourishing your brain, allowing the body to move from the stress response, which we walk around almost constantly with, to the relaxation response, the parasympathetic nervous system activation. But all you really have to know is that deep breaths are good for your body and your mind and your diabetes. It's a gift and it's free. You don't need any special equipment or any special training. All right. So once you have found a nice rhythm with your breath, I'm going to guide us through a modified self-compassion and loving kindness meditation specific to our diabetes. So if there's something that's been bothering you lately with your diabetes, a worry, a guilt, a fear, an irritation, you name it, we have many of them, often. So whatever that is, see if you can pick something that's about a 3 or 4 on a 1 to 10 scale. Nothing too terribly awful, but nothing so benign that it's really actually not that bothersome. So something that's been bothering you lately. So I'm going to think of something too for myself. Okay. And there are 3 steps to self-compassion, as taught again by Dr. Kristen Neff and her wonderful colleagues. And the first step, where I like to start anyway, is the step of mindfulness, which is on purpose, with compassion and without judgment, naming what it is that we're feeling or that we're thinking, or both, since our thoughts and feelings are so connected. So whatever this is, just really name it, lay it out there. Sometimes we don't take the time to name and identify what it is that's bothering us. We just have this nagging sense that something's there and something's wrong. But taking time, what is this that is really present for me right now, that's unpleasant, that's causing me a little bit of suffering? Just name it. You know, I'm feeling really bad. My A1C isn't what I thought it was, or I'm feeling really frustrated with myself because I know I'm not checking my blood sugar as often as I should, or I'm feeling really scared because of the state of healthcare right now and I don't know what my health insurance is going to be like. I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford my diabetes supplies. That's probably higher than a 3 if that's your worry. But just taking that, just naming it, mindfully bringing our attention and our awareness and our consciousness and our presence to that source of suffering. That takes courage. So congratulations on doing that. The second thing, the next thing to do, is to bring a sense of common humanity. Okay, the beautiful thing about us being together here right now is that all of us listening to this have a connection with diabetes. There are hundreds of millions of people on our planet that struggle with this condition. Type 1, type 2, GDM, type 1.5, so many different types. I believe there are as many different types of diabetes as there are different individuals. We each have our unique flavor and our unique relationship with our diabetes, but there are a lot of us out here. So even though we feel very alone, sometimes at parties, at school, at work, at a restaurant, there's so many moments where you can feel isolated. When you can remember, oh, I'm not alone. In fact, usually wherever we are, given the statistics, there are probably several other people silently dealing with diabetes, right? It's not so obvious. We don't walk around with the big D on our forehead, even when we have the external paraphernalia like the Dexcom or the pumps or whatever. It's not always so obvious. But remember, you're not alone. You're not alone. So mindfully naming the feelings, the thoughts that are causing you difficulties, recognizing common humanity, you're not alone. And third, self-kindness. Of all the observations in my years of being a counselor and a coach working with people with diabetes, this is the most abundantly common. And that is that we have a hard time giving ourselves a break, a genuine self-kindness break. I don't mean self-indulgence, that kind of a break, like, eating a big bowl of ice cream or, having a little too much wine or beer to ease our suffering. That's not self-kindness, really. That's self-indulgence. And it has its negative consequences, although in the moment it feels good. So genuine self-kindness is the kind of comfort that you would offer to an infant or a toddler who's suffering, or an elderly grandmother who is lonely and in pain. Sometimes it's so much easier for us to be kind to others, to a best friend, to a partner, than it is for us to be kind to ourselves. It's an interesting phenomenon, but we have control over that with practice. That's why these practices are so powerful and important and valuable, why I wanted to share it with you, specific to diabetes. So we've named our suffering. We've recognized that we're not alone. Now I invite you to imagine, if self-kindness is hard for you, we're going to start by imagining a beloved other. This could be a pet. It could be a grandparent or an aunt or a teacher or a religious leader, a best friend, partner, whomever. Could be someone who's passed away already. Someone with whom you do not have a very complicated relationship. Someone from whom you can really imagine genuine, easeful, unconditional love. So I invite you to have in your mind's eye an image of this beloved other. This beloved other is smiling at you, lovingly beaming at you, and is seeing your true, beautiful light and spirit that has nothing to do with your blood sugars or your self-care, your A1C, or your weight. This person sees the true beauty in you. And from this person's loving, beloved eyes, straight to your heart, is a beam of loving energy. And see if you can allow your heart to just open up And let that beam in and let that penetrate into your body, into every cell, from head to toe. Let that love just flow through you. And maybe there are some words with that energy and that beaming, smiling love. Maybe there's some words of comfort that are particularly meaningful to you. Some words of reassurance, like it's going to be okay. Okay. I love you just the way you are. Okay. I'm here for you. I support you. It's okay. I'm really sorry that you're hurting right now. Some words and some gesture that's meaningful to you and comforting to you. This is a beautiful opportunity to use our minds skillfully and comfortingly. This is cultivating an internal resource that you can use when you're finding yourself in another moment of suffering. Okay, so remembering, just a quick little recap. Self-compassion is mindfully naming what's hurting, what's bothering us, recognizing we're not alone, and then offering ourselves or allowing an image of some other to comfort us with words, with love, and let that flow through us and go where it needs to go to give us the peace and the ease that we need. And now, after we've allowed that to flow through the body, we need to draw this to a conclusion. You can come back to this practice at any time with this video, or you can tune into self-compassion.org. May all beings everywhere with diabetes know peace, joy, ease, and abundant good health. Thanks again. Take good care.